Let's look at how to write factorial using a recursive function call. So we're going to use factorial2.asm, and we want to create a section text and have a global start. Then in our start, we want to go ahead and get factorial of 5. So we're going to get 5 factorial, which is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is equal to 120. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and create our function call. So factorial. And in our factorial, we are going to pass in, so factorial of n is going to be coming in RDI. And then the return value is going to be in RAX. All right, so in every recursive function, you need to start with a base case, right? So the base case for this is we compare RDI to 1. If it is 1, then we can just return our base case. So let's go to base case. Our base case, we are going to move into RAX the value 1, and we're just going to return. And that's it. So that's pretty easy. But if it's not, let's write a comment here. If R1 is, let's do a jump less than or equal to base case. If it's less than or equal to 1, we're going to basically go to return 1. That's what we're doing in our base case. Okay, so if we're not in the base case, we do our inductive case. So inductive case. So what do we do for the inductive case? Well, we need to get factorial of n minus 1. So factorial of n minus 1 times n. So that's what we're doing here. So what do we do? Well, we're going to want to save our RDI. So the way we do it is we push RDI, and then we can decrement it, dec RDI. And let's go ahead and pop it down here because we're going to do a pop later. RDI, but we're going to decrement it. And then we're going to get our factorial. So we're call factorial using the decremented RDI. So this makes us get to n equals n minus 1. We're going to save n, and then we're going to restore n. So at this point, we should come back with an RAX that is equal to something. Well, whatever it is, it's some kind of a factorial thing. So it could be 1, it could be something else. And then we're going to multiply our return value by whatever's in RDI. So let's call factorial n minus 1. All right. So our return value is in RAX. Now we can do RAX times RDI. And the way we do that is we type in I mul, and we do RAX RDI, which is the return value times our current n. and it's already in RAX, so we can just leave it there, and then we just do a return. Right there. So this will get us our number. So we just have to pass it in now. So we need to move into RDI the number 5. So we're saying that n equals, or maybe arg1 equals 5. We're going to call factorial. And then after we get factorial, we want to take this number and send it out. And I'm going to do some kind of an exit, but I don't need to jump down anywhere else. I can just say, okay, fine. We already have RDI. So we've put it in there. We've called it. It's back in RAX. So we're going to save RAX into our RDI register. So RAX. And this is to move the response, move result into the exit code. We're going to move into RAX the value 60 for a sys exit, and then we're going to sys call. So this will get us our value. We're going to then move our value into the RDI register so we can see it as the exit code, and then we just exit out. At this point, we'll be able to see our result and know how it works. So we're going to say this is our exit, but result. That's what we're doing right there. All right, so let's see how this all works. So we're going to assemble this NASM, and we're going to make it as an ELF64 binary. We're going to take our factorial 2 minus O factorial minus 2.0. I think I must have had, oh, it's not max, it's RAX. Okay. We assemble it, we link it. So factorial 2.0 into my factorial 2. We run it, and then we look at the exit code, typing exit % question mark, and that will give us the number 120, which gives you the correct exit code. So there you can see how to do it and the exit code you get.